In this video, we're going to take a look at a really cool little tactical style knife from the folks at Smith and Wesson, the SW910TA. That's coming up next on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me and Mr. Sunshine shining on the side of my head. Today's video, we're going to take a look at a cool knife I really wanted to check out from the folks at Smith and Wesson, and that is the SW910TA. And I got to tell you, I really could not wait to get my hands on it, because I've been looking for a knife, kind of like an EDC backup defensive style knife. This kind of looked like it might be a good option. There's a couple things that might I'm not too sure about it, and we'll talk about that in a minute. That might be a negative as far as self-defense, but I like a lot of things that would be a positive for it. So, but this is a very cool little knife. Comes with this really cool different sheath. So let me take you down to the old stump top. We'll talk about the specs and details of this thing, and then we'll get to doing some of that knife stuff. We might even check the balance on this one. Okay, once again, this is the Smith and Wesson SW910TA full tang Tanto fixed blade knife. This knife features a 3.4 inch, or for those of you still stuck in the old metric system, 8.64 centimeter Tanto blade of 7CR13 MOV high carbon stainless steel, and a 4.54 inch or 11.53 centimeter black 550 paracord wrapped handle, with a 7.89 inch or 20.04 centimeter overall length. This knife weighs just 4 ounces or 113 grams, features spine jimping, and a reversible nylon fiber sheath with a pocket clip. The Amazon price on this knife at the time of this video is about 20 bucks. Okay, so that was some of the specs and details of this SW910TA from the folks at Smith and Wesson. So let me just give you, before we get to doing some knife stuff, let me give you my quick kind of pros and cons, what I see from a self-defense standpoint, and then we'll do some knife stuff with it. So first of all, take a look at the sheath. The sheath has got a little, let me get a close-up on that. You can see it's got a little slot like right there, okay? And then it's got a depression where that button is right there. And then the knife has a little bolt which does not go all the way through, so it's locked in. A little Allen, I guess it's a star head bolt that basically slides in that groove like, so I can get it where you can see it like so, and then locks into that snap there, that little depression. So the retention of this thing is really, really good. So I'm going to try to throw it out away from my feet to see if I can sling it out of here. Okay, so I can, but I really flicked it to do that. But the retention is pretty good. It's got a lot of lashing points here. The belt clip is reversible to carry this upside down. I guess you could clip it on a vest or something if you're just going to clip it on a vest. That's the only reason I could see you would want to carry it upside down. But the retention is probably good enough that it's going to stay on a vest, but I'm just not real big on passive retention, which I consider this passive retention. It's not a strap for upside down knives. But they got to be really, really locked in there good, because that's just me. It's light enough. It'd probably be okay. You could probably wear this as a neck knife. It'd be a big sheath for a neck knife, but you do that. But I wish there was a way to carry this kind of scout style, or even to adjust the angle, because kind of my thinking when I asked them to send me this knife was this would be really good just as a backup defense weapon, and because it's about the right size. It's going to be probably easier to conceal. I really like a Tanto style blade for that type purpose. Not that I have any kind of experience or expertise in knife fighting, but it just seems to make sense to me. Anyway, so it has a very nice straight Tanto blade, pretty dadgum sharp. A little bit of like a finger choil here. It's not really a sharpening choil, because the edge has still got a little bit of a hump there that you're going to sharpen to. So I'm not really sure what the purpose for that choil is there, other than maybe just for looks. Again, I'm not real big on paracord wrap knives, but I would probably cut most of that off and maybe even just fuse it together. It does add a pretty good bit of traction here, but that little dangly there just gets all on my nerves. So anyway, from a stabbing standpoint, from the standpoint of stabbing, Tantos are really good, but the fact that it does not have any kind of a finger guard here means you really got to watch out, because you could slide your hand right up along that blade if you got wet or bloody or whatever. The handle is reverse tapered backwards, so it's fatter near the blade than it is near the end. So that does give you a little bit of a kind of a resistance to sliding upward. as does the paracord. And actually, if you remove the paracord wrap, it would be pretty slick, but you got basically a big opening here and a big opening here to lighten it. It could possibly make it even lighter and even more compact and easy to conceal. That's my kind of initial pros and cons and reactions about the thing for self-defense. I like the size of it a whole lot. I think it's very lightweight. I like the way that it feels in my hand, honestly, except right there on that corner, on the back there, that corner back there is, if I'm holding it with my thumb on the jimping, that kind of right there, that is pretty daggum sharp. I mean, that kind of definitely bites into my hand, and it definitely could stand a little easing there. It wouldn't take much, just a little easing with a file or even a whetstone would probably make it better, but it's pretty daggum sharp. Let me just show you how sharp it is. See that? It scratched the heck out of this sheath. So, but that's not a deal breaker for me. It's just something that needs to be addressed. These little edges are sharp. So, and in some areas, the sharp spine is good. I don't know that the spine itself is that sharp, but we're going to find that out, of course, in a minute. So, I think I've rambled this thing enough. Let's get you down the old stump top and do some knife stuff. Okay, for consistency, we're going to just do a standard knife stuff with this. It's not a standard knife. It's a Tanto knife. It's really not designed for bushcraft type stuff or knife stuff, but it's a knife, right? So real quick, we'll do a little bit of knife stuff with it. First thing we'll do is we're going to baton this big old thing right here and see how well it does. It's probably about the right size to baton with this knife. I know it's silly, but I'm going to do it anyway. Like most of the Schrade stuff, it looks like a little bit of a hollow grind there. So let's do that. Man, I got a splinter in my hand. Oh my goodness, look at that. Bunch of splinters. Let's do it. Man, my baton is getting beat all to pieces now. Out. Try it now. All right, so that was good old oak, and as I suspected, about the only thing that was damaged is a little bit of the finish. It's got that titanium finish, which I really like on it. So we got a little skin up there. We'll try some oak feathers. Again, this is oak, just doesn't feather real well, but we're going to give it a shot because it's got a pretty good edge on it. Let's try some poplar. We'll do a little stabbing, and hopefully I don't stab my hand on this one, but we'll go ahead from about right here and just stab and split. So from that kind of stabbing, my hand definitely wants to slide down. But what we can do, since this thing has an exposed tang here, is a little bit of whacking with it. Let me get something heavier to whack it with. Maybe this. Now what do we do? Okay. All right. Maybe we have some featherable dry wood here now. Let's see. All right, not the greatest feathers in the world, to be honest with you. I think it's because it's got the Tanto and it's got really a really pronounced secondary bevel there. It just doesn't really, it's not as easily controllable for making like fine feather cuts. But again, that's not what this knife is for. Okay, so you know what's coming next, right? And I've got my great big old Schrade jumbo ferro rod here, and I don't know if this one's ever been used. We're going to see. Oh, I think we got some pretty good. Oh, yeah. So definitely got a pretty good spine on here. Let's see if we can get something going. These curls are not the greatest in the world. But got a great spine on this knife. I was able to get these things burning. So not too bad there for sure. You know that makes me happy, right? Chuck Norris can hear faster than the speed of sound. Okay, so obviously this is not a bushcraft knife, but it did really surprisingly okay at bushcraft stuff. Wouldn't be my first choice to take camping, but if you do have this knife with you and you need to start a fire, you can do it, which is good. But again, the primary purpose of this knife, in my opinion, is more of a tactical purpose. It's going to be for defense and for piercing and stabbing stuff. And again, you know, I'm not real fond of the paracord tail here, but it could be either a pro or con aerodynamically. So anyway, can't really say we've done a thorough review of a knife until we put it into the high-tech, state-of-the-art scientific testing facility here at Survival on Purpose Worldwide Headquarters. You may be familiar with a balance, orientation, and rotational device that we test the balance on every knife with. So we're going to put this one in it right now and just see what happens. It's messing me up. Hey, right now, it's on my nerves. Okay. Maybe that'll help. Okay, well that was a quick look at the Smith and Wesson SW910TA, kind of a full tang, mid-size tactical style knife. And we did the standard bushcraft type knife stuff with it. We carved a little wood, built a little fire, did very well. Checked the balance at our scientific testing apparatus, and it actually did a lot better once I removed the tail feathers here. Definitely it's not a bushcraft knife, but for its intended purpose, which is kind of tactical, maybe self-defense, I like the size of it. I think it's a good size to be easily concealable. The sheath it comes with is pretty small. Definitely can clip that on your pants and keep it probably under your shirt pretty easily. Maybe even wear it as a neck knife. But I definitely like the style of it. The one thing I can tell you right now, even if I'm holding it, it's got a really sharp spine, which is good up here for a fire steel. Not so good back here where it contacts your palm. It's definitely irritating. Just holding it like this, it bites in right there. So that's probably the biggest negative I can see on this knife. And that's very easily corrected. Just a little bit of a file or even probably sandpaper. So if you're looking for a compact kind of a tactical style knife, you like Tanto blades, which I do for that purpose, you might want to check out the Smith and Wesson SW910TA from the folks at Smith and Wesson and Strade. So anyway, once again, thanks to the folks at Smith and Wesson for sending me this knife so I can show it to you. Thanks for watching. You can watch another video by clicking right here. I put out at least a couple of new videos every single week. If you're not subscribed, you can fix that by clicking right down here. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.